taking 2 games out of 3 in Arlington. Same story in Chicago, taking game 1 last night against a tough pitcher, an underrated pitcher in Mike Clevenger.
5-2 on the trip. You mentioned beating Clevenger. I guess the one part about it is Scott Service would probably like to see them win a game by more than one run. They've all been very close. They're playing well, though. The bullpen has been taxed somewhat, but the bottom line is get the wins.
Yeah, 3 straight one-run games, all wins for the Mariners. How about last night? Really began in the 3rd inning for the Mariners. For the most part, the 2nd time through the order, Mike, the Mariners getting 4 big-time hits in the span of all of 7 pitches.
Yeah, they changed things up with Clevenger on the mound. I think that they wanted to get a look at him the first time through the lineup. And then the 2nd time through the lineup, they became very aggressive. Ryan Healy getting his first hit back in the lineup for the first time last night. D. Gordon going the other way for a triple to drive in the first run to give the Mariners the early lead in this one. You see D flying around the bases. No surprise there. Segura aggressive on the first pitch, breaking ball down the line. That'll be a double as he drives in a run. D. Gordon going to score. Then Robinson Cano has hit everything hard, including this base hit to drive in another run. So as Aaron mentioned, 7 pitches, 4 base hits, 3 runs. Very aggressive in the 3rd.
It was a big night for Robinson Cano last night. You get later in that ball game, what a great ball game it was last night for the Mariners. 8th inning, about a couple of big-time doubles. And the first one from Nelson Cruz, the wall in left field's 19 feet tall. This one off the bat looked like it had a pretty good chance to get out.
Yeah, you thought so, but you mentioned the wall at 19 feet. The bottom line is with Nelson also not running real well. But the main thing with him, even if he doesn't have all of his legs underneath him, he can still drive the baseball, just go high off the wall. Limp into second base, but that would be an easy double for him.
And for Kyle Seager, this was a ball he was not hitting with this authority last year.
Now we've talked about that little hitch that he has, and he almost hits this one out right off the top of the wall. So Kyle driving the ball the other way. Ichiro came on as a pinch runner for Nelson Cruz as he would score easily. That turned out to be the game-winning run. Kyle Seager driving it in.
Oh, he is a sensational hitter, especially here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. So the Mariners taking the first of this 4-game series. Tonight, Erasmo Ramirez versus Corey Kluber. We're talking more pitching when we come back. First pitch around the corner after just a slight delay.
Beat the Indians.
May 19th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. By Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. And by your local Ford stores. Nice time lapse down to the field here at Progressive Field. The rain has come. The rain is now gone, which is a good sign. Tarp has been taken off the field as we are getting all set for Game 2 of this 4-game series. The Mariners winning a close one last night in the opening act. And Mike, it has been a trend recently. The Mariners have been facing just some tremendous starting pitching, and that will not change tonight. The reigning Cy Young Award winner going for the Indians, 2-time award winner in fact, Corey Kluber up on the mound for Terry Francona. He'll be opposed by Erasmo Ramirez.
Yeah, for Corey Kluber, he is definitely one of the best in the business. And you mentioned one-run games. That's exactly what happened on opening day. Kluber and Felix were hooking up. The Mariners ended up beating them, though. They beat him 2-1 in that outing. You look at Kluber this year, he has really been consistent, especially as you take a look at the batting average again, just 171. His fastball, 91 to 94 miles an hour. You're going to see his cutter. He has one of the best curveballs that you will see, and he will mix it up against the Mariners. So not necessarily overpowering of his fastball at 92. Really, it's his cutter and his curveball that make him awfully tough.
Yeah, tremendous off-speed stuff for Kluber. Meanwhile, for the Mariners, Erasmo Ramirez making start number 2 since coming off the disabled list. We saw him on Sunday work into the 5th against the Rangers.
Yeah, that was his first outing. His fastball velocity was down a little bit. He was right around 90 miles an hour. We're used to seeing 92 to 93 with him. Also fell behind a number of hitters. A couple of home runs ended up hurting him. Look for him to be a little bit sharper in this one tonight.
How about we take a look at the Mariners bullpen? It has obviously helped carry the Mariners to 3 consecutive one-run wins. And Juan Nicasio, you can see what he has done his last week's worth of time, 52 pitches for the 8th inning man for the Mariners.
And Nicasio has been really important to try to get the ball to Diaz, and he has done exactly that with the Mariners. Winning the last 3 games by 1 run has been important, but he also has worked a lot. So probably down tonight. I doubt that we'll see him in this ball game.
Meanwhile, for Edwin Diaz, who leads the majors with 11 saves, if he were to work tonight, and Scott has not ruled that out of the question, it would mean 4 straight days.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's happened a couple of times in his career. It has not happened yet this year, but you can see all the pitches that he has thrown over the last week. 109 pitches for him. I think he'd like to stay clear of him, but if he needs them, he can go to him.
Diaz, Nicasio have been fantastic. Mariners pitching on a bit of a roll, 3 consecutive quality starts as well. Now, still a little drizzle, but we are clear to play Game 2 here at Progressive Field. The Mariners and the Indians' first pitch is coming right up. It will go down as less than a 15-minute delay tonight for Game 2 of this 4-game series. The final stop on this 3-city road trip, which is off to a tremendous beginning for the Mariners. And tonight we take you inside Progressive Field. Erasmo Ramirez making his second start of the season for the Mariners after coming off the DL, going up against one of the very best in the business, two-time Cy Young Award winner Corey Kluber. The Mariners facing Kluber for the second time this season as we take a look at D. Gordon and the rest of the starting lineup.
And last night it was the middle of the lineup that was the story. Robinson Cano hitting third in the lineup, 2 for 4 last night with an RBI, is now hitting .321 on the year. Nelson Cruz, a double in the 8th inning, turned out to be the game-winning run. And Kyle Seager, 3 for 4 last night with the game-winning hit, game-winning RBI. Another double for Kyle Seager.
You know, Mike, obviously finding a recipe to beat Corey Kluber is not easy. And I posed the question to Scott Service today. I said, I think you guys have found it. You get a man on in front of Nelson Cruz. You let him hit a home run and you hold the Indians to 1 run. And that's how you beat Corey Kluber.
Well, you have to believe anytime that he's on the mound that it's going to be a low-scoring game. And the formula you mentioned happened at Safeco Field when the Mariners beat him 2-1. It was Felix on the mound to get the start that day. And he eventually turned it over to the bullpen, who were able to hang on to that 1-run lead.
The 0-2 to Gordon. 3 pitches for out number 1.
And there's the cutter. You're going to see his cutter quite a bit. That's a good fastball, 91 to 94, but the cutter and curve combination will be difficult. Take a look at what he's done this year. 3-1 record, but a 1.96 ERA, 36 2/3, just 6 walks, 37 strikeouts, and opponents hitting just 171. We'll take a look at the defense behind him. Bradley Zimmer will get the start in center field. He did not start last night. He's one of the fastest outfielders in the American League. Ramirez and Alonso on the corners, and Yan Gomes will do the catching tonight.
Why not for Gene Segura, batting just beneath 300, entering tonight. On the first pitch out to Lindor. 2 outs. But last time out in Baltimore, 7 strong innings for Corey Kluber.
He's been on a pretty good run as of late in Baltimore. They were able to get to him a little bit. Again, it was because of the home run. He's given up 4 home runs this year, 2 in that outing. He ended up going 7 innings, giving up 3 earned.
Terry Francona at the helm of the Indians, a team that for the last few years no team has been built around a rotation quite like the Indians. Of course, the Astros rotation rivaling it this year. 2 outs. Here's Cano. I asked Scott today if he had received any further clarification on the home run that was not a home run by Robinson Cano. He said he has not, and I was surprised to find out that when the crew chief, in this case last night, Mark Wegner, when he came over and talked to Scott after the home run was overturned and ruled a double, and in most cases, Scott said, there's really no further explanation given other than, in this case, Scott, it's been overturned, it's a double. I mean, that's it. That's as much as those guys get from New York.
Yeah, you know, and I thought about that when you and I were talking about it earlier, and I think the biggest reason why is, 1, they don't want to have the argument, and 2, it's not the umpire here. They've already made their call. It comes through New York, and so there's no changing at that point. Let's just stay away from the argument altogether. Not saying I like it. I'm just saying I think that's what happened. There it is. For us, it looked as if it hit that railing right above the yellow line. And it was originally ruled a home run, but then changed. They said it hit the top of the wall.
Off the hands into right field. Naquin there tonight. Very quick 1-2-3 start to this game by Corey Kluber. As we go to the home first, Erasmo Ramirez getting set for start number 2. one-run fashion as we take a look at Terry Francona's starting lineup.
At times this lineup has struggled this year. Jason Kipnis, though, last night 2 for 4 with an RBI, even though he's off to a slow start. Yonder Alonso, the former Mariner, last night 2 for 4, 2-run home run in last night's ball game. And Bradley Zimmer, want to keep him off the bases with his speed. He will round out the 9-4 Cleveland.
Now for Erasmo, making his first start in this ballpark since 2015. Had what was truly the best start of his career against his ball club last September at Safeco Field. No walks, 10 strikeouts last September, 1 run over 8 innings.
For Ramirez, last year, his average fastball 92 miles an hour. Cutter, changeup. His changeup is his best pitch. His first outing this year, his fastball on average was right around 90. So down a couple miles per hour. Still trying to build up some arm strength.
Counts to 1-2 on Lindor. Evens up 2-2.
For Ramirez in his first outing against the Rangers, that was at Texas. 4 2/3. He threw 67 pitches, so he's looking to build off of that, along with the arm strength, right? A little bit deeper into the ball game, throw a few more pitches.
Lindor putting up a little bit of a fight to begin things.
Good news, some well-located fastballs at 91 miles an hour right on the outside corner, but he is spoiling them.
Here comes pitch number 8. Out to right. Haniger watching and gone. Fourth on the year for Francisco Lindor. And the Indians take an early 1-0 lead.
After making a number of pitches on the outside corner, tried to go to the inside corner. That's a two-seam fastball. It started on the corner but ran back to the middle of the plate. And Lindor lines it out into right center field.
Strike one to Kipnis. You look at the numbers last year for Erasmo. They were solid overall in 11 starts. Sub 4 ERA, 3.92, but he was home run prone. Gave up a dozen homers in those 11 starts, and of course gave up 2 in his first start this year.
You'll want to be careful with Jason Kipnis, although he has struggled. We mentioned it. Started to heat up last night with a couple of hits. 5 for 12 with a couple of home runs against Ramirez. Good changeup at the bottom of the strike zone. That's where they'll have to live. Try to keep the ball on the ground. A little bit of a breeze blowing out to right field.
Weak ground ball over into the shift. Bobbled. So we were able to complete the throw in time. 1 out.
Mentioned it with Ramirez. Last year's average fastball 92, cutter, changeup to go with it. Struggled through his first outing, 4 2/3. You see the couple of home runs that he ended up giving up. Had 1 strikeout, 1 walk in that outing. Mentioned it last night with James Paxton. James was excellent as far as getting strike ones. We take a look at the defense. D. Gordon in center field, Ryan Healy at first, and Mike Zunino will do the catching. So a couple of the fastest center fielders in the league in tonight's game.
One out, a run in. Here it's Jose Ramirez. full shift on for Ramirez, who's one of the highest pull hitters in the game. Although Segura is leaning towards the bag at second, it's 1-2.
Already here in the first inning, Chad Whitson, the home plate umpire for Ramirez, and I'm sure that Mike has already picked up on it. That outside corner is open. You can get a little bit on the outside corner.
Here comes Gamble.
There's a couple of reasons for that. Maybe for Whitson tonight, he sees the ball on the corner, but for Ramirez, a little bit of run, and then more importantly, you have Mike Zunino receiving the baseball, especially on his fastball, framing it. Another good pitch just off the corner, the lazy fly ball.
2 outs now for Michael Brantley. The numbers for Brantley this year are pretty fascinating when you think about the trends in baseball now, where the true outcomes of a plate appearance are typically limited to a walk, a strikeout, or a home run. As he shoots this deep to straightaway center, speaking of which, his second this year. Second home run this inning for the Indians, and they lead it 2-0. Lindor and Brantley here in the first, going deep.
And we'll take a look at the location. Mike set up on the outside corner. That's back in the middle of the plate. Yes, it's at the knees. He just drops the barrel on it right in the loop zone. Barrels it up 400 feet straight away. He just clears it.
Strike one to Encarnacion. Indians finally have Brantley back and healthy. 0-2. This is sucked to right field. This is the third homer in this first inning off of Erasmo Ramirez. Number 6 for Encarnacion.
And this time it looks as if he's able to get the pitch to the corner. Take a look at it. Mike set up on the outside. He wants a low target. This is going in about belt high. A little breaking ball. And cutter. 3 pitches in a row away from him. And that time he goes the other way. Stottlemyre out at the mound. 21 pitches in the inning for Ramirez. 16 strikes, so he's throwing a lot of strikes, and I'm sure Mel's going to talk to him about that. So he can get him on the edges of the plate.
Fouls off the first pitch for strike one. Alonso a home run last night off of Paxton. Scott Service saying today that had that home run not been hit, that was hoping Paxton would be able to go out in the 7th inning, get up to a pitch count of about 115 for James, but didn't happen because of the home run.
That's something you and I were talking about last night during the game. I feel that that's something we're going to see over the course of the summer with James, the ability to throw 115, 120 if they need him to.
How rare is that?
Today's game, very rare. But I also think it's one of the ways that they're going to be able to get James a little bit deeper into ball games. We've talked about it in his last couple of outings, the amount of foul balls that really are hurting his pitch count. So one of the ways to combat that is to increase the workload, and James can certainly handle that.
Loop to right center. Gordon comes hustling in to make the catch. 3-run score on 3 solo homers. Lindor, Brantley, and Encarnacion. Indians on top early. Days at 7:10. Tickets only $25 and include the new Kings Court T-shirt. So come on, Safeco Field and cheer on the Mariners by picking up your tickets now at mariners.com/Felix. Only 8 pitches for 3 outs. Corey Kluber in the first inning. He faces Nelson Cruz to begin the second.
I mentioned that the Mariners beat Kluber 2-1. Felix on the mound, getting the start that day. It was Nelson Cruz with the 2-run home run. That was the Mariners' offense.
In fact, for Nelly, it was his very first swing of the season. Good numbers for Nelson against Corey Kluber. This is a shot on a line to Naquin in right field. A hard out, number 1. That brings up Kyle Seager. 3 hits last night, including the game-winning RBI. That was a double high off the wall in left field. Kyle beginning to settle into a nice little groove. 6 for his last 15. And of course, just tremendous numbers here at this ballpark.
Hitting .378 in this ballpark. They have the shift on. Opponents this year against Kluber's fastball, again 92 miles an hour on average, hitting just .214. Hitting .143 on his curveball and .114 on his cutter. Not many hits.
0-2. Especially when you look at the lefty-righty splits for Corey Kluber. Lefty's hitting .140 against him with all of 2 extra base hits. Check swing. They say that he goes.
Like cut fastball, probably on the plate, but down.
Two outs for Haniger. 5 for 7 lifetime against Kluber. Might only be 7 at bats, but a lot of guys have maybe 1 in their first 7 at bats against Kluber.
I'd like to know the list of guys that actually have 5 hits.
You're
against
right.
them.
Especially guys outside the division.
Gets himself into a good count right away. 2-0. A couple of cutters off the plate away.
First 2-ball count for Kluber today. Make it 3-0. Four pitch, 2-out walk. Haniger, the first base runner for the Mariners tonight. Brings up Mike Zunino. To put that walk in even better perspective, 6 walks all season through the first 5 starts for Kluber. Missing with the first pitch to Zunino.
Normally, Aaron, I think you look at it with Kluber on the mound, you have a couple of outs. Yeah, Haniger just walked, but because it's Kluber and what he's done, difficult. If you can keep the score down, you have a chance. And this is where we start to see the length of the lineup. Mike finally back healthy, a couple of home runs already, hit 25 last year. But at any moment, even the bottom of your lineup now, Healy, who's in the lineup hitting 25 home runs last year, you have a chance to get right back in the ball game on just one swing. You don't have to bunch a number of hits together to score. So, you know, really when you get into these matchups, which the Mariners have done a great job so far this year, winning all these one-run ball games, but lean on the offense a little bit.
That was one thing Scott talked about today, the importance of getting to Kluber early. Just like we talk about any ace,
Sure.
they settle in and it's trouble.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Easier said than done.
You also have to think about the amount of pitches that he's going to throw today and how good he's going to have to be with all of them because of the length of this Mariner lineup. I think when you see the guys get on base that can run, they probably will tonight too. It's something that Scott, we've seen him do that in the past. When he knows that runs are going to be at a premium, it's difficult to bunch hits together. He'll try to make something happen.
It's on to the Astro series. Ramirez behind the bag at third. Haniger is out at second base, and that ends the top of the second. Go to the home half for Rosmo coming back out.
Well, the first couple on pitches that were in the middle of the plate, and this one was on the outside corner. Like cut fastball. He goes with it the other way. Came into the game with a couple of home runs against Ramirez. Now 3 home runs, all solo home runs.
The shift on for the catcher, Yan Gomes, batting 7th. Strike one as he pops this away.
Before Ramirez had an opportunity to get back into the dugout, probably talk to Mike Zunino a little bit. But the game is on now. He has to settle in. I'm not sure that he can afford to give up another run with Kluber on the mound. Kluber looks pretty sharp. There's a quality pitch right on the outside corner.
Swinging right through that off-speed pitch. Gomes, strikeout victim, Ramirez tonight. We heard from Scott Service before last night's game, Game 1, about James Paxton. He was really hoping that James would be able to establish his curveball more. That was one of the great takeaways from James last night. Season high 19 curveballs. And talking to James today, not only was the number higher, but the quality of that pitch was much better for James last night.
Yeah, you're right, and it's one of the things that Scott talked about. You put a game plan together, you still have to be able to go out and execute it. James had a plus fastball all night last night with great command, and you mentioned the curveball, was able to throw it a number of times, more than probably usual for him. This year it's been his slider that he has really liked. But I think the one thing about the curveball for him, especially early in counts, is it keeps hitters a little more honest, that they have to respect that you're willing to throw it and that you can throw it for strikes just to get them off of your fastball. And we saw that last night.
And just as we had expected, more curveballs, meaning less sliders. That number was down. He'd been throwing 20+ sliders each of his last 3 starts. It's been such a good pitch for him this year. 2-1 now on Naquin. As we look ahead to Sunday, May the 6th, both scheduled to pitch on Tuesday. Shohei Ohtani and the King. Big go in at Safeco Field. Hope to see you there.
Felix has really pitched well in his last 3 outings. On a pretty good roll right now.
Lined into right field off the bat of Naquin to the base of the wall. Naquin hunts extra bases. And he glides into second with a 1-out double. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. One out, one on for Bradley Zimmer, former first-round draft pick. As it turns out, the Indians actually have 2 first-rounders from that year back in 2014. Brady Aiken was taken #1 overall by the Astros. Did not sign. Indians got him the next year, middle of the first round, after he went back into the draft. Not missed it by much. 1-1. Over the mound. Here comes Segura. Low pick. Zimmer so fast, and they got him. Not an easy play. See if the Indians want to take a look at this.
Zimmer, one of the fastest players in the American League. No chance for any sort of bobble at all, and a strong throw. Saw Healy last night at first base stretch out to help the infielders.
Look at that.
Yep, that close.
Great play, good call as well. Naquin in at third base with 2 outs. Top of the order here is Lindor, who homered. Lindor, an all-star each of the last 2 years. Last season, 33 home runs for the Indian shortstop. Well, outside 2-0. Gets one there, 2-1. Next pitch will be number 40 for Ramirez. Gamble having to move back quickly. Approaching the track. Gamble is able to flag it down and make the catch. Just like a receiver onto the track. Is that a body catch? We'll take a look. Ends the inning. In game 2, we start at the top of the third. Ben Gamble will lead things off.
Poor Ben, 1 for 3 against Kluber. That one hit, a home run.
Mike, when we went out to dinner last night after the game, we were sitting around. There were a couple of TVs on with the NFL draft on, and we heard Ryan Roland-Smith say, "Hey, did that guy that get drafted, did that say that he used to play for the Pirates?" And we found out that sure enough, there was a tight end drafted in the first round named Hayden Hurst, who signed out of high school to be a minor league pitcher. Things did not work out well for him. Ended up developing the yips. Couldn't throw even to his own catcher. He's a Jacksonville guy. Played his high school ball in Florida and played against Ben Gamble when he was in high school.
Right?
And knows him pretty well, or at least knows of him, I should say. So what a story for Hayden Hurst, who became the 25th pick in the draft last night. 2-2.
Well, Ben off to a little bit of a slow start. Not many at bats yet. Last couple of games started swinging the bat a little bit better, so hopefully he'll get going here. Ben hit .275 last year, 11 home runs, 27 doubles, 5 triples.
Third strikeout from Kluber. There's the cutter again. Speaking of the NFL draft, ceremonial first pitches today. Baker Mayfield on the left, taken #1 overall by the Browns. Denzel Ward, also a first-round pick. Cornerback out of Ohio State, local products. This guy's eager to get things going. I can't imagine the whirlwind. You're on your couch, you get the phone call, and then hours later you're on a plane and it all begins.
It happens that fast.
Ball 1 to Healy.
Ryan had a base hit last night. This is his second game back. Solid base hit back up the middle. This is his first at bat.
What were you doing when you got drafted, Mike?
I was at an awards banquet.
Somebody hands you a piece of paper, say, somebody nudge you. How'd you find out? Looped into center, base hit, Ryan Healy.
After it was the banquet was over with, I went home and said, "Mom, Dad, anybody call?" Fortunately, somebody did. So I called them back.
It's a good move.
Yeah, I thought so. Ended up signing with Montreal. Whitey DeHart was the scout. Came out and signed me. And then, just as you mentioned, I jumped on a plane and off I went.
1-on-1 for D. Gordon. Did you have any idea what was going to happen next? Just even the next day, the next step, what was expected?
No, I had no idea. I wasn't sure. The only thing I knew was that there was a plane ticket waiting for me. I knew where I was flying to, which was a good thing. But once I ended up walking off that plane, I had no idea. There happened to be somebody from the A-ball team at the time waiting for me to take me to the hotel and then to the ballpark, and then eventually help me get into an apartment with a number of other guys, and I do mean a number of us.
The 0-2. On the ground, Ramirez snares it. Overhand throw to second. No play to first. D with fielder's choice, 2 outs. Well, throw it back with the fanny pack. Saturday, May 5th is 90s night at Safeco Field when the Mariners host the Angels. Dress in your 90s best. Plus, be one of the first 10,000 fans to receive this very cool accessory, a James Paxton fanny pack. Tickets at mariners.com.
D. Gordon at first base leads the league in stolen bases with 9. A couple of outs, probably a good time to try it.
Strike 1 to Segura.
Something that he has consistently done. When D. Gordon gets to first base, he will take a strike to give him a chance. Now he'll go ahead and hit.
right in front of Gordon's toes into right field. A couple of men on base with 2 outs.
That's why he's just perfect hitting in that second spot. One, he can handle the bat. Two, he can run, but he can use the entire field. There's a huge hole on the right side that he takes advantage of, and we've seen that a number of times here in the early going this season with Segura.
All of a sudden, the tying run is at the plate. Here's Cano.
That's exactly what we were talking about in the last inning. Kept a bunch of hits together, but this club has some power in it, and they have a chance. Ryan puts a good swing on it. Cano, a couple of home runs this year. Flew out to right field his first time up. Another cut fastball, probably middle in, and he fouled straight back.
Talked about the struggles lefties have had against Kluber. Do you think that's more the cutter or the curveball, or just simply a combination?
I think it's the combination of the both, because the cutter, he'll run it in on your hands, and then you try to speed up to it, and that's when the curveball comes in, typically down out of the strike zone. You can't recognize it, and by the time you do, it's too late. You're probably not able to check your swing, and you're done. Another cutter. Yeah, that gives you a pretty good idea of how good that cutter is and how late it is. When you look at Robinson Cano, he's had one of the best eyes this year, in my opinion. Watching him, it's rare to see him go outside the strike zone. That looked like it was going to be on the inner half of the plate. He tried to do some damage with him. By the time it ends up getting to him, it's well off the plate inside.
The 0-2. Strike 3 call. 4 strikeouts through 3 innings for Corey Kluber. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Trailing early to Corey Kluber. Indians getting 3 home runs in the first inning. Hungry Mike. Kipnis to center. D to the wall. High off the wall. Kipnis making the turn. Put on the brakes there. Leadoff double, Jason Kipnis.
For Kipnis, off to a slow start this year, but aggressive. Again, 2 hits last night. You take a look at D. Gordon, going to try to get up on the wall, just out of his reach. That is the 5th extra base hit off of Ramirez. So Indians work here in the 3rd inning. Kipnis starting to heat up. A couple of hits last night.
Roll ball 1 to Ramirez. Couple of very close pitches, 2-0.
Throwing a lot of strikes, 43 pitches, 30 strikes for him.
Pulled foul, 2-1. You've seen 3 home runs so far today by the Indians, all coming to the first.
So they've done the bulk of their scoring this year. They've struggled hitting with runners in scoring position, but they're not afraid to hit the ball out of the ballpark. See the percentage of the runs scored by the home run. Only San Francisco out in front of them.
Atarabi. Short throw, 1 out. As Kipnis gets into 3rd. We'll go back to the Ford Sports desk. What's going on, Brad? I was telling Mike today he's got a global reach. He didn't believe me. There's Brantley, a home run earlier. Brantley, his 2nd home run out to dead center, 420 feet.
Infield is in. Scott Service trying to keep the scoring right at 3 with Kluber on the mound. Change up on the outside corner.
Kipnis to 3rd, 1 out. And on the hands that time to even it up 2-2.
Yeah, pretty good cutter after a couple of changeups away. Really set him up nice for the cutter in on his hands. Tied him up with it. So he goes back to his changeup or the cutter again in off the plate.
The 2-2. Socked out to right center. Ton of carry. Gordon at the wall has just enough room. Kipnis tags and scores. Brantley nearly got his 2nd of the night. Instead, got number 2 in a sacrifice fly to make it 4-0.
Before Brantley is a quality hitter. That's towards the end of the bat, just enough to keep it in the ballpark. Had some injuries the last few years, but a quality hitter. Picked up another RBI, his 2nd.
Encarnacion fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Now, I don't even really know which direction to go here, Mike. But the Encarnacion, you know, he does
Big
have
fans,
the parrot on the arm when he rounds the bases. I was very disappointed, though. Earlier this year, I believe it was in Anaheim, Encarnacion hit an inside the park home run. There we go, parrot on the arm. And I was disappointed that when he rounded third and came sprinting home, he did not have the arm out for the parrot.
Probably a little tired. Couldn't lift the arm at that point. If it's an inside the park home run.
Two outs in the 2-2. First strikeout victim tonight for Erasmo Ramirez. He played 3. Indians lead at 4-0. He's happy again. And by Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. We got some sunshine today. Got a little warm. First pitch temperature at 55. It was warmer than that when we walked over the ballpark today.
Probably 62, 63 out when we walked over. Gorgeous day. It's going to be quite a bit colder tomorrow, though.
So I hear. Chance for some flurries. There's Nelson Cruz. Elliott hard out to right field. His last time up. Behind 0-2. Now this series featuring two of the game's best home run hitters in recent years. Take a look at Nelson Cruz and Edwin Encarnacion. A couple of DHs since 2010. Cruz, Stanton, and Bautista just a few behind Encarnacion at the top of the leaderboard. Fouls off this curve, still 0-2. And talk about all the strikeouts for Corey Kluber. Last 4 years, third in the majors in strikeouts, only Scherzer and Sale with more. Second in the majors the last 4 years in innings. And Scherzer leading the category. Inside this time. Kluber's numbers against the Mariners are fantastic. This is his 6th career start. A 1.66 earned run average.
I imagine his numbers are pretty good against most teams.
I'd say so. 5th strikeout. Now, The Force Awakens at Safeco Field on Friday, May the 4th, with Star Wars Night. As a tip of the cap to Han Solo, Kyle Seager will be featured in bobblehead form as none other than Han Sego. First 20,000 fans will receive this special Star Wars inspired collectible. Tickets can be had at Mariners.com. I don't know about you, Mike, but it's kind of surprising, these 5 strikeouts that we've seen so far from Kluber. The finishing pitch more times than not has been the cutter, not the curveball, which we normally would expect with Kluber.
You would think so, but his cutter has been a very good pitch for him this year. Opponent's hitting just 114 off the cutter, and some nights maybe he just has a better feel for it. It's working, so they're just staying with it.
Out of the plate, 1-2 to Seager. Now 3 home runs so far this year for Kyle. A chance for what would be his 7th consecutive 20 home run season this year. Here comes the 2-2. Runs it full.
It's so difficult. He's working that inside part of the plate, and you saw that last fastball at 94 miles an hour. You start to zone things up, and if he throws that fastball in the corner, you probably take it if you're a left-handed hitter, because you're seeing that cutter in off the plate. It's tough to recognize and see the difference between the two.
Naquin in right field. 2 outs.
His cutter, the left-handers this year, they're hitting 140 off that cutter inside. Last year they hit 200, so it's been a very good pitch for him. Whiff percentage up on it also to the left-hander, so that's the pitch he's had a pretty good feel for here the first month of the season.
And we saw that to Cano. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Mitch Haniger. Only Mike Trout and Didi Gregorius have more home runs so far this year than Haniger. Behind 0-2. Strikeout number 6 for Corey Kluber. Freezes him with the heater, and he retires the side in order for the 2nd time. Mariner lead things off. Take a look at our Nika investing in our future. Cameron Perkins, take a look down at the farm, averaging 420 with 12 runs, 4 doubles, and 5 ribbies. 7 multi-hit games in that stretch.
It's hot. Keep it going, Cameron. Swinging it.
Over towards the shift. There's Robbie in shallow right. Handles it smoothly. 1 down. An efficient start to the bottom of the 4th for Erasmo. Now facing Yan Gomes, the catcher.
Erasmo probably aware of it, but with the way that Kluber is throwing the baseball tonight, he can't afford to give up any more runs if he wants to give his team a chance to get back in this ball game.
Erasmo making just his 2nd start since coming off the disabled list. Missed all of spring training. Ball's behind here, 2-0 to Gomes.
Mariners have the shift on with Gomes hitting, so Cano on the left side of the infield. There's a good look at the defense.
Races that pitch back to the glove of Zunino. 2-2. Comes in and gets him.
He hit him with a changeup, 81 miles an hour. That's the changeup. Mike set up down and away, trying to check his swing, hit him on the wrist.
Naquin going after the first pitch, finding a hole on the left side. Moves Gomes in his 2nd, 1 out and 2 on.
Second hit for Naquin.
Distraction occurs anytime you take your eyes off the road. If you're on the road, off the phone, let's reach our Target Zero goal together. 0 traffic deaths in your family, 0 traffic deaths in our state. The hit batter is single. Here is Zimmer. Clobbered towards the pole in right field. So plenty of carry, but foul. Loud strike 1.
Zimmer off to a little bit of a slow start. He's been swinging the bat much better lately. Be careful with him.
Ahead now 0-2. Zimmer came up last year, made his major league debut, then had an abrupt ending to his season late in the year after a broken hand. And his hand stepped on. Strike 3 called. Zimmer caught looking at the changeup.
For Erasmo, well executed pitch. Changeup on the outside corner, right at the knees. Perfect location. Gets the call.
Third strikeout for Erasmo. Now facing Lindor for the second time. Lindor had a hit taken away from him by Ben Gamble on a terrific play, gliding back on the warning track. And Erasmo ahead 0-2.
Starts him off with a changeup away, and then the cutter back on his hands, right on the inside corner, probably just above the belt.
Make one at first, Gomes at second, 2 outs. The 0-2. Look foul. Another 0-2. Another strikeout for Erasmo Ramirez. It's a couple this inning. Strands 2 base runners. We go to the 5th. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Well, tonight, game 2 of this 4-game series here in Cleveland. Very welcoming town every time we come. Mike Zunino will lead things off for the Mariners to start the 5th.
Mike grounded out to the third baseman his first time up.
6 strikeouts through 4 innings for Corey Kluber. Mariners so far 5-2 on this 3-city trip. Winners of their last 3 entering tonight, all 3 of those games by 1 run.
In the game tonight with Kluber, we've seen his fastball, his two-seamer, 91 to 94 miles an hour. His cutter on average is probably around 88. Pretty good curveball, 83 miles an hour, but pretty good command over everything tonight.
The 2-1. We've seen some Mariners hitters tonight take fastballs that are covering a ton of the plate at 92, 93.
Again, it's difficult, Aaron, because when the baseball comes out of his hand, you're not sure if it's going to be the two-seam fastball or is it going to be the cut fastball. It's just, there's a breaking ball curveball right in the middle of the plate for him, so it makes it tough at times. And I think because of his reputation and probably what they've seen to this point, all of a sudden you get that cutter in the back of your mind and you just keep looking for the cutter, so then you have to look at a location to where you can handle it, and that two-seamer in the same location with the extra velocity, by the time you recognize it, it's by you. It's just, it's tough. That's why he's one of the best in the business.
This is smoke down the line. Foul ball.
We were talking about more cutters than his curveball, and right there a couple of curveballs that he's trying to get a feel for still. His cutter's been terrific, but both of them in the middle of the plate. Not his best command with that pitch, and he's probably trying to bounce it, but can't get it there.
Zunino leading off the 5th. Kluber's 2-2. This time the other way and foul.
And that one at 93 miles an hour, middle away. Next pitch will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Mariners having a good road trip.
High out to right center. Naquin nearing the wall, right in front of the 375 marker. There's that number 1. Once again, back to the Ford Sports Desk. We say hello to Brad once again.
Batting down for Seattle, number 16, Ben Campbell.
Yeah, keep Brad busy. Thank you, Bradley. Ben Gamble digs in on the first pitch. Soft pop up into shallow left. Lindor, the shortstop, with 2 hands for out number 2. Now 2 more games following this one to wrap up this road trip and 4-game series. Our CenturyLink What's Next. Good pitching matchup tomorrow. Day baseball 12:30 we are on the air. Mike Leake taking on Carlos Carrasco, and then on Sunday 9:30 our broadcast begins. Marco Gonzalez trying to keep it rolling. Start number 6 for Marco, taking on Josh Tomlin. He's given up his fair share of home runs in just a handful to start so far this season. Two outs for Ryan Healy, number 9 hitter. Strike 1. It was Marco, by the way, who began this race and run that has since ended tonight of 3 consecutive quality starts, the longest such for the Mariners so far this season. Healy caught looking. Borderline pitch. 7th strikeout for Kluber through 5 innings.
Talked about it going into this series. They score a lot of their runs because of the home run. And in the first inning, you see Lindor, the leadoff hitter, with the home run. Brantley also to dead center field. And then this one out to right. So 3 solo home runs in the first inning. Tough first for Ramirez. He's settled down since then, giving up just 1 more run. With some early run support for Corey Kluber. He looks like he's on top of his game. It's been difficult. Brantley with a double in the 3rd inning. He scored the 4th run.
One to Kipnis. Pulled foul. Breaks his bat.
Oh, he hit it off of his knee. So it's a cut fastball. Off of his calf. New bat, and he's ready to go.
Fifth strikeout for Erasmo Ramirez. Round up your roommates, classmates, and professors for college night at Safeco Field on Friday. With valid college ID, you can purchase $13 tickets, enjoy an extended happy hour, and don't forget, ride the Link Light Rail for free by showing your ticket to the game. Join the party at mariners.com/college. Taking on the Angels Friday night. Line drive, right place, right time. Ryan Healy, 2 outs.
Ramirez probably wondering what he has to do to get a hit against the Mariners this year.
0 for 20 now.
Ryan Healy didn't have to move at all. Raise the glove up a little bit, and that's about it.
Well, the Mariners somehow have been able to hold down one of the league's best hitters in Ramirez, dating back to the opening series of the season against the Indians. Brantley on the first pitch, another slug out to center. Almost the same spot. D. Gordon can't make the catch. Brantley making his turn into third, and he coasts in there with a 2-out triple.
Take a look for D. Gordon. He tries to get turned around, and watch when he takes his right foot. He plants it and slips a little bit. Now he's kind of falling forward. He was just out of balance and not able to make the catch when he made the turn. And when he turned back around, it looks as if he planted his right foot to turn and just lost his balance.
First pitch to Encarnacion. He looks at strike one.
Indians so far 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. 3 solo home runs and a sacrifice fly.
The opposite way with some authority. Haniger has it in his sights to end the inning. And that 2-out triple is left stranded 90 feet from home.
This was going to be a difficult matchup. We mentioned it at the beginning of it. Season opener at Safeco Field, the Mariners able to beat Kluber in a 2-1 ball game that Felix started. Bullpen was terrific in it. Kluber ended up going 8 innings, giving up the 2 runs. It was a 2-run home run, but tonight more of the same. Just command was terrific. There's a 2-seamer on the outside corner. Very good cutter. Still trying to find his curveball.
Which normally you would think that would mean a break for the Mariners, but it has not turned out to be much of one tonight.
No, but just because his cutter has been so good. It's been a great pitch for him all year. Again, opponents coming into the game hitting just 114 off the cutter, and his fastball command on the 2-seamer at 91 to 94 miles an hour with some run to it has been difficult. And then, you know, the early lead, the 3 runs in the first. There's a curveball for a strike.
Oh, 2 now on Gordon.
And right back to the cutter. Cutter above the belt inside.
The 0-2. A lot of that tonight. Strike 3 called on a fastball. back to the Ford Sports Desk. Bill Kruger, what are you seeing tonight from Corey Kluber that's making him so tough?
No, it is remarkable when you consider. We've talked a lot about his cutter tonight. It's been a very good pitch for him, but just his command of that two-seam fastball and to see it running in there at 91 to 94. And Aaron was asking me, you know, the hitters seem to be giving up on it or taking it a lot. And I told him it's set up by that cutter, and the separation in miles per hour is anywhere from 4 to 6. Kind of reminds me of Maddox a little bit, the way he would run that two-seamer in on the lefties and started off the plate away from the righties, still strikes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll take the velocity and have it straight. I can at least know where it's going to end up, you know, by the time it gets to me. And you mentioned the strikes too, Bill. That's a big weapon. 73 pitches, 53 strikes for him tonight, and they're quality. I did too.
Bill, as always, we appreciate it. We'll hear more from you on Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines as Kluber picks up strikeout number 9. The game through June 3rd. You can learn more at soundtransit.org. Was a night here in Cleveland. Game 2 of 4. Mariners winning last night by a run. And Alonso going after the first pitch and smokes it out to center. Gordon's been busy. Nothing he can do here. 4th home run tonight for the Indians off of Erasmo Ramirez.
And hopefully D is okay. He hit the wall hard and having a tough time getting up. He tried to make a leaping catch on it and slammed into the wall. Darren mentioned he has been busy tonight, but he's trying to walk it off right now. Probably his left knee. Look at the pitch from Ramirez in the swing. Up out over the plate, full extension for Alonso, going dead center field. He has a beat on it. Looked almost as if his knee buckled a little bit before he left the ground as he was trying to jump in the air. It looked as the knee buckled a little bit right there. Landed funny. Now you have the trainer and the manager out to center field. Another look. So that was right when he planted the jump. It buckled a little bit.
Scott and Rob Nodine out there to check in.
See, he's trying to stay in the game, wants to stay in the game. So important to this club. That was scary.
Yonder with his 3rd home run this season against the Mariners.
For Ramirez in his first outing through 67 pitches, he's at 81 now. Mark Zepchinski getting loose in the bullpen. 4 solo home runs for the Indians.
This is smashed out to left, up by the high wall. It is fair. It is gone. Gomes' 4th on the season, and it is home run number 5 tonight for the Tribe.
And this is going to be on an off-speed pitch. Look at that little breaking ball, 83 miles an hour. With that home run, that is going to do it for Ramirez. Scott Service out to the mound. He's going to make a pitching change.
home runs allowed. First time that's happened since Jason Vargas in 2012. Jamie Moyer and Mark Langston as well. The only others to ever do that. Final line for Rosmo in his second start.
Yeah, tough outing for him. 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. Aaron mentioned the 5 solo home runs. Didn't walk anybody, 5 strikeouts, 83 pitches, 61 of those for strikes.
Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pin and brings on the left-hander Mark Zemchinski to work in the 6th inning.
Tough go here in the early part of the season for Mark Zemchinski. As you take a look at his number, Scott Service saying today that he would like to have him get out there and pitch to a number of batters. Most of the time Mark will come in and pitch to the one left-hander. They want to give him some work so he can get some things straightened out. Veteran pitcher, I imagine that he certainly will. Fastball typically 92 miles an hour, 92 mile an hour sinker with a slider.
One ball to 1 strike on Naquin.
Been having a good night. A couple of hits, including a double for him.
Check swing, he goes. Out number 1.
Sign a couple of good fastballs, put him away with a slider down out of the strike zone. Set up away. Able to hold up on a swing and set up by the good fastball.
Mike, speaking of the bullpen, we had a fascinating conversation and hopefully the first of many with Brian DeLunas, the Mariners' new bullpen coach, today before the game. He was kind enough to carve out about half an hour of his day, and the things that Brian brings to his role, first-year bullpen coach for the Mariners, it's pretty amazing.
It is amazing, and really there's so much to talk about with him. I think we easily sat in the dugout just chatting for what, 45 minutes today, and just to get over the surface of it all. It was fascinating to listen to him talk about the guys in the pen and just all the different things when they look at the analytics of the game and what these guys are thinking and feeling and the difference that you have between younger players and veteran players. There's a lot that he has to deal with.
We talked to Scott about him today after our conversation, and Scott praised him top to bottom what he's been able to do so far this year, and also praised him in the way that he's gone about his business. First-year guy at the major league level, and has really been keen on listening and trying to get a feel for all the guys.
Obviously, well, you can tell that that's been a big part of it, is him getting to know each one of them, because when you start talking about making adjustments, taking information to players, you have to know, 1, how to speak to them about it, and 2, what they're willing to accept at this point in their careers and work all of those things in there. That's not an easy thing to do.
Especially beneath his own 2-2.
I thought it was interesting today just talking about spin rates and actually taking some velocity down so that there isn't as much of a spin rate, so that the ball is a little bit heavier, maybe sinking more to get the ground ball, because all we talk about most of the time is velocity in the breaking ball when it comes to spin rate.
This is over into the corner, and a fair ball off the wall. Zimmer easily into second base, a wall ball double with 1 out. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. You can visit MLB.tv for details. There is Lindor for the 4th time. Shoots this foul. It's a very almost radical approach the Mariners have taken to the pitching staff this year. Mel Stottlemyre is certainly in full control of handling all the pitchers, but some supportive pieces there. And as Brian told us, when he talks to Mel, he said on a weekly basis, he says to Mel, I have no idea how you did this last year all by yourself. 40 different pitchers. And of course, that's the model, right? That's the model for 100 years in baseball. You have a pitching coach.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he had some help last year. He had to deal with a lot. He typically, as a full plate, does a terrific job. And we talk about communicating. He's about as straightforward as it gets. And does an awesome job, but it's good to see him get some help.
Little big bounce to Segura, and that little clutch cost him. That's an infield base hit for Lindor's second hit.
And Lindor showing the power in the first inning with a home run, but he also has a lot of speed, and there it is, the double clutch. Strong throw, but late.
One out runners on the corners for Kipnis. But you even see it in the hitting realm. Majority of teams now have an assistant hitting coach. Now Brian is not an assistant pitching coach, but certainly is very helpful with his skill set that he brings in. And then you have Jim Brower as well, who's helping out this year in a coaching role on the pitching side.
Pitching is so important. Mariners obviously have had health issues there. Just trying to help these guys get better.
Block getting loose inside the bullpen. Back to Zunino's glove. Zimmer at third, Lindor at first. Good stop by Zunino, full count.
Let's see if Mark goes right back to the slider. 3-2 count. Fastball in.
Strike three call. Is thinking otherwise. 2 outs, runners on the corners. Well, we're hoping for this. Next homestand, the King potentially taking on Shohei Ohtani. They are in line for May 6th matchup at Safeco Field, both scheduled to pitch on this coming Tuesday. But wouldn't that be something? You can pick up your tickets at mariners.com.
That happens, that will be an entertaining ball game. The two of them going at it.
See, Ohtani has homered off of the reigning Cy Young Award winner in Corey Kluber, and he has struck out the reigning MVP in Jose Altuve this year. Flattens out to Segura. Short way to Cano. And that wraps up 6 innings. Indians on top. us using the hashtag RootFanFave. You can watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out your fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a topical Coors Light Yeti cooler just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. We have the most professional truck in the business. Well done, guys. Kluber on a bit of a roll. He's retired his last 10. 75 pitches as we start the 7th. Here's Nelson Cruz.
Tough numbers for the Mariners. When you look at Kluber, 21 batters faced, 15 first pitch strikes. He's recorded 12 outs on 3 pitches or less tonight. He's on top of his game. One of the few hitters counts we've seen tonight.
Isn't that the truth? Off the hands, a ground ball to Kipnis. And the second baseman handles it smoothly for out number 1. Up next is Kyle Seager.
Hitting now for the Mariners, third baseman Kyle Seager.
Seager looking for his first hit tonight, but was fantastic last night. 3 hits in the game-winning RBI. It's a ball 1. And as usual, the shift on for Seager. Ahead 2-0. We're talking about that Angels series coming up at Safeco Field, and the A's as well. The Mariners return home. Look at the standings of the division entering today. Top 3 teams separated by all of 3 games. Mariners, Astros, and Angels.
Boy.
See why Kyle was thinking first base.
Well off the plate away.
Well, there's ball 4. That snaps 11 in a row, sat down by Kluber. Time to take a look at our Snoqualmie Casino around the league. The division, Astros and A's going at it in downtown Houston. Carlos Correa, a 4th inning single off of Shamanaya, the recent author of a no-hitter. Elsewhere in the division, Rangers leading the Blue Jays in the 7th from Rogers Center.
Haniger 0 for 1. A walk and a strikeout.
Now the first pitch, he belts this out to center. Zimmer looking and just over the wall, gone for a home run. Mariners get on the board, and Mitch Haniger gets his 9th home run of the season.
And this fastball is crushed. It's probably 410 to that corner out there. The wall is 19 feet high, and he hits it all the way out to where the cameras are. What a month he is having. 434 feet on that home run.
Cameras are normally safe up there.
They would have thought, right?
Oh, Mike, they're saying that's a double.
We can take a look again. 19 feet. Out. Just past those cameras. This way, Aaron. I'm talking about Robinson Cano and them taking the home run away in yesterday's game. You're going to be able to call his 100th home run again, probably in the next couple of days.
Well,
as a miracle, 100th as a miracle.
We're having a conversation walking back to the hotel. In some ways, I'm guilty saying this, that would have been kind of a rotten way to have your 100th home run when it's kind of a palms up. Maybe it is, maybe it's not.
No such thing.
Yeah.
Take them all.
Oh, I'm sure of it. You'd love to see that those milestone home runs be complete no-doubters.
Right.
The 1-2. Breaks his bat, rolls one out to Lindor. 2 outs. Well, we hope you can stick around once this one is over with for Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Now we will hear once again from Mitch, who has been a very popular postgame conversation in the clubhouse.
He's been busy this month. Ben Gamble 0 for 2. To a bit of a slow start, but only 26 at bats for him. It's the majority of spring training. Playing a little bit of catch up at this point.
0-2. Strike 3 called. Borderline pitch there. That's the 10th strikeout tonight for Corey Kluber. Mitch Haniger, number 9 this month. What a start for Mitch. Pastime. 6-2 Indians as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Mariners on the board now thanks to a 2-run shot by Mitch Haniger. Wade LeBlanc on to work for the Mariners.
For Wade, this will be his 5th appearance. 11 2/3, 10 strikeouts for Wade. His fastball in the upper 80s. Best pitches is changeup. He'll mix in a curveball with it.
Another change for the Mariners. Andrew Romine takes over in center. We saw D. Gordon shaken up after crashing into the wall in center field. Rob Nodine, Mariners trainer, went out to take a look at him with Scott Service. He stayed in the game but now exits. Going 1 to Brantley. Brantley has homered and tripled. He's also driven in a run on a sacrifice fly. Grounds this through the right side. A double shy of the cycle, Michael Brantley. The triple for Brantley, by the way, was just his 2nd since the start of 2015. Leadoff man aboard for Edwin Encarnacion. There's an inside to make it 2-0. Mike, especially on the heels of that Haniger home run, showing what a tremendous start to the season it is. Interesting conversation we were having earlier today, hypothetical one kind of. This is softly popped up. Robbie's there for out number 1. When you look at this first month of the season, Mariners team MVP. You think about what Mitch has been able to do, and then you also think about what the 9th inning has looked like for the Mariners. There has not been anyone better at closing the door in the 9th than Edwin Diaz in baseball. That's a fun conversation. There's no, I don't think there's a wrong answer there.
No, I don't think that there is. You know, you look at the month for Mitch, but I also think you have to go back and you look at the Mariners record. I mean, in this game, they were 4 games over 500. All the 1-run games that they've played already. Diaz out there to save all of them, which doesn't give him much of a room to make a mistake, and he really hasn't. And how important those wins are, especially early in the year. Yeah, you need offense, you need to score runs, and Mitch has been a big part of all of that. But it is a fun conversation. I'd probably lean towards Edwin a little bit just because of how important those wins have been and how dominant he has been able to take care of games, especially now that he's done it, what, 3 days in a row.
Right.
I'm sure he's made himself available tonight if they would need him, but I think it's difficult. But I think it's a great conversation. And Mitch, you know, when you start talking about player of the month in the American League, he's going to be in part of that conversation. That's how good he's been.
You look at the monthly awards given out in baseball, and reliever of the month is a category. Good chance that Edwin Diaz gets his fair share of votes and possibly even takes that home.
Right.
We talked to Scott Service about this today. It's kind of been an ongoing conversation about Edwin Eaton ever since he really first came up. He made his debut against the Indians at Safeco Field. We see swings and misses on his fastball like few others, and yet, as we've talked about, Mike, it's not like Edwin's the only guy throwing 98.
Right.
And Scott was describing it. A lot of knees, a lot of elbows, the glove even as well. A lot of deception there.
A lot of deception. I think probably some spin rate involved, extension when he releases the ball and how far out there he is getting. I think you can add all of those things up along with tremendous command and a very good slider to go with it. Consider about the Mariners right now. They're the only team in the major leagues with relievers with a reliever with 10 saves and a reliever with 10 holds, which is Nicasio.
You go next level up?
No, what I'm doing is I'm shortening up the game for you. Aaron.
Yeah.
When you have a lead, those guys have been terrific. And Nicasio, a little bit of a slow start for him, but he's been really good too. When you talk about the 3 saves that Diaz has picked up over the last 3 days, Nicasio has been the guy in the 8th to get the ball to him.
And even Brian DeLunas, when we were talking to him, Mariners bullpen coach, threw out something that we hear more and more each year, and that is tunneling for pitchers, and that fastball and that slider. And my goodness, if you were in the batter's box, they look exactly the same to the last split second.
Right, and then that's why you were talking earlier with Kluber and his fastball today with the run that he has on it at 93, and then the cutter. You can't really pick up the spin of a cutter, and I think with Diaz, because it's such a late break on his slider, it's in the same place. You can't sit fastball and adjust anything else. You have to look for one particular pitch. And that's just a difficult combination, especially when you have the type of stuff and deception that he has.
By the way, these two guys are essentially connected at the hip.
Yes.
Romine, the new center fielder, taking over for D. 2 outs. I'll sign up your youngest Mariners fans for the 2018 Mariners Kids Club. MVP memberships are only $25 and include a Mariners backpack and cap, $1 ticket vouchers, plus exclusive MVP experiences, including autograph sessions and batting practice viewings. Register today at mariners.com/kids.
Who do you vote for?
Well, you know, it's funny, when the question was posed to me, the initial thought was, well, Haniger, right? He's been involved in
Seems
everything.
like an automatic, yes.
Especially when Cruz is on the disabled list.
Oh yeah, hitting cleanup, he has been.
Then you start thinking about it more and more. And as you referenced, the 1-run game for the Mariners and how good they have been this year in that category. You look at it so far, 6 and 2 in one-run games, among the game's best early on this season. A 4-out save. I think he bonus points obviously for a 4-out save for Edwin Diaz, which we saw on this road trip. And to me also, it comes down to just the simple fact.
It's not just saving the 1-run games. It's 3 1-run games in a row for him now.
Back to back to back. There's just nobody been better in the 9th inning to begin the season than that man. Kind of comes down to that. It would take a lot to beat what Mitch Haniger has done to begin this season. But Edwin Diaz has been all of that.
Well, you know me well enough to know that I'm always going to lean towards the position
Yeah, I'm
player.
disappointed in you going pitcher on this.
Well, that's just, it's Diaz and what he's done.
Yeah.
You just cannot ignore it, even though Mitch has been awesome. That's just, I look at those numbers right there through the first 24 games. That's a big lift for our club. And I don't think there's anything more difficult than to lose a game late when you have a lead, and just have not done it. When they've handed the ball to him, it's over with. Good pitch right there.
LeBlanc against Gomes to end the 7th. Brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BNSF, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by Jack in the Box, try the new Cholula Battery Jack, part of the Battery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Progressive Field right near Terminal Tower, lit up for LeBron and the Cavs, who are trailing the third quarter in Indiana. If they lose that game, they'll be coming here on Sunday. Final game of that series, NBA postseason. As we wrap up this series, just across the street from the Q, the Cavs play. It'll be a busy day here in downtown Cleveland on Sunday.
Nobody getting loose in Cleveland's bullpen. Kluber now at 93 pitches. His high this year is 104. That was against Minnesota back on the 17th.
Ball and 2 strikes to Healy. This is lifted high out to right field, but Naquin just in front of the track for round number 1. Back to the Ford Sports Desk. Brad, what's happening, man?
Now batting for Seattle, number 7, Andrew Roma.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Thank you, Brad. It's Andrew Romine batting for D. Gordon, top of the order. D has been taken out of the game. Pitch number 100 from Kluber. I'll tell you what else, Mike, when you talk about Diaz versus Haniger for MVP to start the season for the first month, you also realize, I'm sure you've put yourself mentally in the batter's box against Diaz a couple of times and realize how much of a joke that would be for anybody.
Well, it has been. You watch him, he's just been dominant at times, and there's been nights when it's just no chance against some really good hitters, and we've seen so many bad swings, especially on a slider that's been down out of the strike zone.
2 hits in 13 appearances for Edwin Diaz. 2 hits.
2 hits.
The 3-2. Romine off the bench draws a walk. Takes some very close pitches. 3rd walk tonight from Kluber. It's half the season total tonight.
And I think at times this year with Diaz, it's a win just putting him in play.
Yeah.
Just try to find a way to move the ball forward and move on from there.
One out, one on for Segura. Lindor back a couple of steps. Kipnis on to first. Double play. It ends the top of the 8th. We go to the home half. Kluber and the Tribe on top. Contest this season. We'd like to extend an invitation to all Northwest sports fans to join us on July 7th at Safeco Field. Receive a view level ticket and your choice of an Ultimate Northwest t-shirt for just $19 or a main level seat t-shirt for $37 when you purchase through this special offer. You can find more details by going to mariners.com/ultimate. Block worked to scoreless 7th, back out of the 8th. First face Tyler Naquin.
Manfred has had a good night, 2 for 3 as a double.
Nine extra base hits tonight for the Indians, something that they accomplished 3 times last year. Of course, 5 home runs, all off of Erasmo Ramirez tonight. Broken bat out to center. Romines had a couple of chances since taking over for D. Gordon. There's our number 1. What the weekend will look like here in Cleveland tomorrow. We're on the air at 12:30. Mike Leake making his 6th start of the season, going up against a tough one in Carlos Carrasco. Second time the Mariners will see Carrasco this year. And then on Sunday, Marco Gonzalez, pitching very well recently, taking on Josh Tomlin. Final 2 games of this 4-game series. Mariners winning last night, trailing here tonight, game 2 in the 8th.
Zimmer with a double his last time up, 1 for 3. Doubled off the left field wall.
Found a way to make it 1-2. This will be the last time the Mariners see the Indians at the end of the series on Sunday. We'll be watching them from afar the rest of the year, and they are obviously a very good team, but they are also in the fortunate situation being part of a division with a number of teams, a couple of teams in the midst of a rebuild. Now Zimmer swings and misses for round number 2. Of course, the Tigers, they're in second place right now in the division, but they are in full rebuild mode, or nearly full rebuild mode. Same certainly can be said about the White Sox, who the Mariners just saw. Royals off to a dreadful start at 5-18, and the Twins lost 7 in a row.
Well, you look at the Indians, they come into today, they're 3 games over 500, and in large part because they've taken care of their own division. Once they're out of their division, they have struggled. Under 500 for them.
Smoke to center. Boy, Romine's been busy. This is over his head. Short hops the wall. 10 extra base hits tonight for the Indians. 3-hit night for Lindor. Triple shy of the cycle. Two outs, a man aboard for Kipnis. Looking at strike 1.
Kluber now over 100 pitches. Nobody getting loose in the pen for the Indians, so he will come out and try to finish it in the 9th.
Healy to a knee. And that ends the 8th. Lindor stranded. Mariners out of their final 3 outs. Down to their final 3 outs, trailing 6-2. Take a look at what Kluber has done tonight. 104 pitches through 8.
104 pitches, ties his season high. 8 innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 walks. There's 3 hits for the Mariners. A couple of runs they were earned on the 2-run home run by Haniger.
Kluber eyeing for his 2nd complete game of the season. If you were to finish this one off tonight, that would be 4 complete games for Indian starters. That would be more than the rest of the American League combined. That's the American League with 3. Manaya's no-hitter, 1 of those. Keuchel's complete game against the Mariners, another. And Jose Barrios of the Twins with the 3rd.
Cody Allen getting loose in the pen.
Robbie gets ahead 2-1. Kluber the complete game against the Mariners on opening day against Felix. Towards the corner in left field, but slicing. Foul ball. The 2-2 on a line to Naquin in right field. Now number 1.
Can't hit it any harder than that.
I've seen a number of those to Naquin tonight. Nelly had one his first time up. Here he comes with 1 out.
Still has the good cutter. Tremendous pitch for him tonight. And the command of the two-seamer. 110 pitches, 75 strikes.
New shortstop Eric Gonzalez. Oh, I beg your pardon. Lindor still there. Gonzalez over at second. Taking over for Kipnis. 2 outs. Two outs for Seager. Strike 1. It was Seager who came home on Haniger's massive home run out to center field, the only damage dealt to Kluber tonight by the Mariners.
Another good cutter under the hands. He has done that to all the left-handed hitters tonight. Tough pitches. First one right on the corner. That one just off of the inside corner into the hands of Kyle. Just the 3 runs and strikeouts for Kluber.
Time called.
He wanted that pitch. He's been getting it all night. It was off the inside corner. Didn't get the call.
And a right field base hit. Kyle Seager, which is base for the second time. Now Tito will come out and get him and get Cody Allen.
It appears that he will.
Eight and 2/3 for Corey Kluber. A brilliant night up on the mound for the Indians, but he cannot finish this game. 116 pitches. Cody Allen coming on to face Mitch Haniger. .434 feet for Mitch. His 9th home run of the season. Now facing one of the game's best in the 9th inning.
10 appearances. Has yet to give up an earned run. 13 strikeouts in 11 innings. Opponents hitting just 139 against Allen.
Both Allen and Andrew Miller free agents at the end of the season. They've been part of a just tremendous duo at the back end of this Indians bullpen. Haniger socks this out to left field. Brantley angling back, can't get there. Short hops the wall. Seager into third base. He's held there. Mitch Haniger just keeps on doing what he does best. That is hit. A home run earlier, now a double off of one of the game's best closers. 2 outs, 2 on.
And he's going to get a fastball above the belt, probably middle in, but still finds a way to get the barrel to it. Set up on the outside corner. Fastball runs in on him. Double off the wall. A lot of power in that swing with the leg kick that he has. Speaking of power, here's Mike Zunino.
Two outs, 2 on for Mike. Looking at strike 1. By the way, was the first extra base hit Allen has allowed so far this season in 10 appearances. Zunino a ride out to left. Zunino gets all of this and more. Crushed to the bleachers. Mariners are in business here in the ninth with 2 outs. They are never cheap off the bat of Mike Zunino. One-run ball game here in Progressive Field.
Mike Zunino, great approach, curveball, middle of the plate, and he hits this halfway up the bleachers over the 19-foot wall. Out front just a little bit, but he is so strong to turn this into a 1-run ball game. Mariners haven't had many opportunities, scoring 5 runs on a couple of home runs. 432 feet on that home run. Take another look at Mike.
The 0-2. Right to Lindor to end the ball game. Mariners make some noise in the ninth, but fall 6-5.
You have to give him some credit for fighting back. A couple of tough pitchers in Kluber and Allen to deal with tonight, but they do score the 5 runs. Fortunately for Erasmo Ramirez, not a good night for him. Was not able to keep the ball in the ballpark, and some early run support for Kluber turned out to be the difference.
6-5 the final. Indians win it. This series tied at 1 game apiece. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. It begins right now. Bill, Bradham, it's all yours.